It's not beginning the story that I fear. It's not knowing how it will end. Everyone is fair game now.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is my son, Beau Biden, who a lot of you helped elect to the Senate in Delaware. This is my granddaughter, Natalie. Got the wrong one. This is Natalie. This is Beau's daughter. And
welcome to the BenBen Show. I'm your host, BenBen. This episode of the BenBen Show is brought to you by Gwyneth Paltrow's Beauty Secrets.
Exercise, a one-day gallbladder, flush fast, and a comfort food like a really nutrient-dense greens juice, seaweed.
They take millions of rose petals and crush them.
Brown rice, xylitol and stevia, animal glue, divine energy,
Crushed up beetles.
fish oil, protein, Oreos, or martinis, and a cigarette, Xanax, alcohol, ecstasy, like a pack of Camel Lights a day, hallucination, Cheez-Its, vodka.
We're also brought to you by our good friends at the Russian Mafia and the Lex Friedman podcast.
I think it's... What do you think?
So the way that I would, I guess I'd explain, I fuck robots. Glad to see Lex is doing good. He's doing well, healthy. Joe Rogan just got over his COVID. I just got over mine, sort of. Tongue is still sore. Kind of feels like a very generous John at a whorehouse all weekend. Just little sore. The reaping what I sow, I guess, in that regard. Or it feels like I've done a lot of gymnastics with my tongue. I don't know. I'm not Simone Biles. I tried. I tried too much. I did too much. I talked to my doctor. He said, finish your ivermectin and everything should work out. So I intend to do, follow doctor's orders. And yeah, a lot of exercise. I was Sebastian, you know this is weird. I was on a walk the other day, and a couple, and they're super outback with their holes in their sweaters, $4 million house. Talk about profiling. Wasps much? They see this tall drink of water come by and say, oh, you can help with this coffee table. Of all people, I don't think that you need 3 people to lift a coffee table, but they were tired, I suppose. They'd been lifting a lot of furniture. Very strange. And so I help them bring it into their house. They introduce themselves and I say, oh no, sorry, I don't do names. And then I walked out. That's my bit. That's my little piece of being off-putting. Sorry, fat people. I just feel like that was my fun. It wasn't helping people. I used the altruistic act to then create a bit for myself where I can make myself laugh. Is what I've done my entire life. It's not about them. It's as if I'm external from myself. That, would be funny if you refuse to give your name and you leave. Happened within an instant. Wasn't premeditated. They asked me to do this thing. I thought it was very strange. If I was like, if I was black and they asked me to go play basketball or something, like that's just like, fuck you. So at the end, I'm gonna it would be really funny if I broke it or I had dinosaur arms like my good friend Andrew, who's born with dinosaur arms, like my height, everything, in proportion, but he has dinosaur arms. It's like, oh, well, you profiled the wrong guy. I have dinosaur arms. You think I'm big and tall and strong, but I'm just dinosaur arms. Sorry about your Ottoman. Yeah. All right. Gotta go to Jamba Juice and get some stuff done. But yeah, that was interesting. I don't know, but yeah, it makes you think about when you have COVID, because of how much the media scares the crap out of you. You think about your life and death. I was thinking about what would I do? Like, what would I be able to give to the people I care about? I thought about what if I gave people things they don't own, but I set it in the will, to make them feel good. Like, oh, I didn't know he had that. Like, I bequeath unto you a 1938 black SC Atlantic Bugatti. That's a nice thing to give someone. Who's the guy that, the executioner that reads the will? It's not the executioner. Sebastian, who's the guy that reads that would be funny though, if the executioner read your will. So it's like, Yeah, so I cut off his head at 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock, we're giving away his Pokemon cards. I think he's giving them to his cousin. Are we doing a reception at 5? Yeah, watercress sandwiches. No one's wearing I hate wearing this hood. It's awful. No one, good. Are we single girl? See us like cute girls in this family? Okay. No, it's been hard to date because everyone's wearing a mask. I don't know who's attractive or not. Yeah. It's hard for me my entire life. Yeah, you're telling me. But no, the execution was very clean, very clean. It just, no mess. So yeah, sponsored by Brawny. Yeah, so we got the paper towels and it was nice. Yeah, very clean. A few little drips there and there, but otherwise it was nice. Good reception too. A lot of people were there. More people than the funeral actually came to the beheading. Yeah, or rather, I should say the pre-funeral. The trial. Yeah, I fucked that one up at the end, didn't I? So it happens. You just talk randomly. You're gonna screw up sometimes. Yeah, but yeah. I also give my friend Daniel probably like a lifetime, like a real thing, like lifetime subscription to OnlyFans.com, maybe an industrial sized tub of lubricant. Maybe I'll give him like a Michael Jackson, one of his gloves from like Balmain or whoever he got his diamond-studded gloves, and I'll give him like an entire lifetime supply of Band-Aids and like let him think about what to do. That'd be interesting. And then Kelsey, I would give a 1.5 times size duplicate of my penis in silicone bust. Maybe a nice piece of art to be tasteful, to balance that out. Yeah. Maybe like a audiobook, like The Sorcerer's Stone as interpreted by J.K. Simmons. That'd be cool if they're related. So it would be really cool if J.K. Simmons did a reading of The Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling, and he did it as if in the same like tone or comportment of his character in Whiplash. Potter! Sorry. That might have been too loud. I don't know. You little shit. You're a fucking loser, Potter. Like Potter gets really sad in this version. Like in this version, he might even take some sort of like latitude and like really make Potter, like Potter has like is on manic depressives because of like he's a manic depressive in this. He's on antidepressants because of the bombardment by this more extreme reading by J.K. Simmons. Maybe he cuts himself and stuff like that. I don't know. Some more intense version of Harry Potter by J.K. Simmons I think makes more sense. Yeah, probably. I talked to my brother the other day. I mentioned, do you remember when you thought Steel Dragon was a real band? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you remember when you thought that we went to see Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg and Jennifer Aniston? You thought that was like a real like documentary or something? He's like, what are you talking about? That is a real band. I'm like, what? Yeah, they're still real. My brother has emotional problems and a violent outbursts. And I remember the time when I had this talk with him when he was younger, he beat me with a tennis racket, insisting that Steel Dragon was real. But since this is over the phone, I thought I could bring it up and be safe. But he got really angry on the phone. And I'm like, you think that motion picture soundtrack is, what is that? It's a movie. It's from the doc. He's like, yeah. But, I'm like, oh my God. You remember that? It was like, oh, wasting my soul, test my life from my... Sorry. I can't sing worth a damn because I'm tone deaf, but I feel like when I'm singing that everyone is just like, look at my titties. And just like people are like, fuck my girlfriend. I'm just like, oh, test my life. Well, like if I was a famous person that did shit on stage all the time, I would go out and just lip sync songs a cappella or just do renditions of like Radiohead and shit like that just to feel what it's like and pretend that I'm good, or have the fan base that like doesn't care. They know that I'm delusional. They love me for something else and they just put up with it. So they like, all right, we got to make him feel good. So he's about to do what he has to do. Black, Pearl Jam. It's like, oh, legs lay out before me as her body lay still. What's my favorite part of that song? Oh, you why can't it be mine? Oh, you're under somebody else's sky. Why can't it be? Sorry, I'm sorry. I gotta stop. I'm sorry. Eddie Vedder, though. I mean, come on, what girl wouldn't? Or that guy that he was like 14 when he wrote that song. It's 12 o'clock and it's 2 double legs. Well, I know she hates me, but I'll ask anyway. That guy. He's like 14 when he wrote that song. You know how many ass he got writing that song back when rock was a thing? You know, I feel bad for Greta Van Fleet, because they were getting big with the guy that sounds like Robert Plant, right when like Led Zeppelin, this like perfect highway tune, excellent song. If you haven't heard it, read it, listen to it, read it. It's great. It's like, is that Robert Plant? No, it's not. It's a lead singer of Greta Van Fleet, and it's awesome, and they're amazing. But they were peaking, or they were rising up to like commercial success right when COVID happened, and then they had to take a back seat. I'm sure they're just like, this sucks. You really go from like your Aerosmith and you're doing like you're like selling in arenas to then you're like selling out like a 13 seat room place with people wearing masks. They're like spread out. You're like, this, I don't even know. Like, what am I doing? Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you, I don't know. Like if Dave Matthews all of a sudden started doing like 15 room seating sessions. You suck. And he's like, God, people like in 1994 thought like are coming in their pants to this shit live at the Red Rocks. Oh my God, live at the Red Rocks. Satellite. You know, I don't know. Oh man, those were the days, man. No, like Tinder, no, just like I saw this girl, man. Oh my God, we were looking at each other like 200 yards away at the concert. She was like, you know, shaking her titties on top of her boyfriend's, you know, shoulders. But I feel like I have a shot. And then you do, like somehow, like serendipity. You just fucking see her at the ice cream stand or the ecstasy dealer. You're just like, is it? Yeah. Oh my God. Like I have a boyfriend. Oh, well, I mean, you know, you're kind of like telling me that you wish you didn't. So why don't we just pretend for 5 minutes? Those were the days, man. Now everything's like, oh, look, my profile, my analytics match with your analytics. We must be, dude. I feel bad for kids today. It's like a kid like Michael Smith commits suicide because some like bot in India tells him that he's ugly. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? That's good old days, man. The good old days. Want to see something like I put this raccoon eating a bag of snacks in a really like polite and like Emily Post manner. I fucking like that. Look at that guy. He's so good. He's so polite. You know, we're not special. You know, we should treat our animals better. We really should. When I was a kid, I don't know if I mentioned this in another podcast, I would walk my dog into other people's yards. I would go where the fuck he wants to go. My mom would like scream at me. It's 2:00 in the morning. A dog wants to go outside. He's whining. So I let him go out. He starts barking at the moon and like the other dogs. You can hear them all around start bark. And my mom was dying from cancer at this time. So it was kind of annoying. But I was like, but the dog, Mom. It was also kind of funny. The dog would just get really defensive when it was around my mom. It knew my mom was dying. He knew. Jaws, the cockapoo named Jaws. He would like bite people. And yeah, he'd keep people away from my mom. It was really kind of cool. Yeah, I would like walk him. He'd like want to walk in someone's yard. I remember a lot of weird shit because I was 6'6" at 12. So when you're in someone else's yard at 6'6", and like you just look like you're robbing them. That's what you look like an adult. Like it's weird. It's also weird that it took me so. It's 16. I was 6'6", and I was skinny. I was 166 pounds on my license. That's what it says still. 166 pounds at 6'6". It's like you're trying to like, I don't know, like you're like I have AIDS or some shit. Like I don't know. Like I read Dr. Fauci said, oh, you should take this AZT shit. Look at your gold hair; it'll help you. And then I'm starting to die. It didn't work. Just a side note. Fauci was the guy that pushed AZT back in the 80s during the AIDS epidemic. Just saying. To all my LGBTQ friends that are not necessarily super like, oh, Trump's the most evil thing in the world and anyone thinks they're like more balanced, or anyone in general. Even if you hate the fact that I have a shirt that says deplorables with attitude on it, it's kind of like mocking that like 50% of the voting demographic is, like dumb or idiotic or uneducated or, because they're not part of the mainstream media's perception of reality. That's kind of the gist of it. Be free, be you, DWA. Think for yourself. But yeah, man. What the fuck was I saying? I'd have to like pause the video and go back because I know that I'm on a diatribe now. I was talking about a raccoon with snacks. Then I got into AZT. I don't know. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about at this point. Oh, my friend Daniel was on Politico. He's going to Chicago. He's asking me like what restaurants you should go to. And I was like, well, I remember I flew with Kelsey to go to Alinea, the one with like the fucking pillow that has like the it has like. So this is cool. The chef at Alinea in Chicago, it's a Michelin rated restaurant, lost his sense because of cancer, I think, lost his taste. It's amazing. So specific. Like that's your thing. You're a chef and you lose your taste because of cancer. Like, what are the odds you don't like just like, have to cut off like your part of your prostate or some shit, or like a vasectomy or something, or like I don't know, something. It's so related to what your profession is. It was just so superficial and predicated on like, it's almost like it's like your soul. Like the cancer's eating your soul and your soul is cooking. It's cool in a way and poetic in a way, but also fucked up. So he lost his sense of taste and he got it back. But like that was a real thing. They did a doc on it, I think, on that show like Chef's Table. Watch on Chef's Table. There's a couple. There's one in Iceland or Norway I wanted to go to. The guy closed it. Really upset because I wanted to fly there for that. I know. This sounds like really pretend. It's just like, it was just something, what I mean? If you saw it, whatever, it's like you want something you want to do, you do it. It sounds like very like, it's like, yeah, but if you could, wouldn't you? Just saying, like, that restaurant looks amazing. I'd love to take the person that I'm in love with, that I want to spend the rest of my life with, to this restaurant. Of course, just roll with me, okay? I realize it sounds a little, okay, I'm a little okay, dude. Well, I don't know if I can, like, can't just like do that whenever. That's not what I'm saying. It's just exciting. It's fun. It's like you're sharing this experience with someone. You saw this thing, like I want to go there because I love this artist and I want to be part of this thing. It's kind of what you do when you go to any restaurant, even in your neighborhood. Like, oh, I enjoy this person's ability and I want to share in the artistic work of culinary arts. So whatever. They have a pillow at Alinea in Chicago that matches like of like perfume or fucking like smells that matches the food that you're eating. It's fucking crazy. And I was enthralled by it. So we flew there. It was amazing. We were like 2 days. We went around Chicago, went to all these places. We had coffee cake at the Drake Hotel, very touristy. Whatever. Great time. Soldier Field, by the way, just seems, when you go into Chicago I think I went from O'Hare. I think that's when I flew in. It looks like you're going into like a giant island that's just a penal colony because of the Soldier Field there. It's like, oh, this is where they keep the prisoners and the rest is like the administrative offices for the prison. That's what it looks like. It's beautiful with the river and everything like that. But like the Soldier Field thing it's like a fortress. And it's like, oh, the Lannisters live here. It doesn't feel, it's like, it's very like, okay. I'm really hyper right now. I don't know. It's been, because the COVID kind of put me off. So I felt really like nervous going into the show today. So it's like, what the fuck am I going to talk about? Just be free, be you. Like our earlier shows, like a year ago, whatever, or like 6 months ago, 4 months ago, 3 months ago, 2 months ago. I was like, so I told you about how like I felt so stressed by them. I was filming at 2:00 in the morning, editing, working the rest of the day. Then like, I felt like it was like just so much like, I want to do the show, but it like became, and that's like, I felt like the quality of the show would be better if I just don't try as much, like just chill, like, just like chill. And I really do feel like I enjoy it way more this way. Anyways, so my friend's like, where do you want to go to eat? And I'm like, okay, well, you go to Alinea, maybe go to Tempuris. I think that's another one. I haven't been to that one. I'd love to go. But then I saw this thing, Au Cheval, cheval. It's horse. Cheval is horse in French. This cheeseburger, I want you to, like, a cheeseburger is not something to, like, the cheeseburgers, we all know, we live in such like we've seen like really artistic shit happen with basic things in this world of pretentious bullshit and like, like speakeasies. They're like, a speakeasy is supposed to be like a very like open, cool, hey, yeah, we're all free, man. We're like, like, fuck the man. You want to get drunk? Yeah, prohibition. Fuck that shit. But it's like become a pretentious, like there's a doorman. He's like, let me see if we have any tables. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like a weird progressive, open, but then at the same time elitist thing that's happened, like with restaurants, like an underground pub that has the best like cheesesteak in not Philadelphia, but let's say like Chicago, and like there's a doorman and you have to be on the list. It's like, let's take it easy, because you're taking the idea that you have to be on the list to prove that you're not a cop to, oh, well, you have to be on the list to pay like a membership per month to eat like a cheeseburger here and have some gazpacho or whatever the fuck, like some chili. Like, yeah, it's just a little like you're flipping it. You're taking like the idea of what it is, which is like, hey, I want to blow my boyfriend down here, and like homosexuality is not allowed. Like, oh well, come down, have a cheesesteak before you do it down at our place, and you on the list. Oh, no big deal. Let's put you on the list, just to make sure you're really gay. Can you blow him in front? Let me watch. Okay, good technique. All right, come on in, have some gazpacho. Yeah, wash that down. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, I feel like it's gotten a little weird, but also look at this cheeseburger. Look at the egg. I don't even like egg. I would actually tell them to take the egg off. Look at that thing. The bacon. I hope that he goes. And also, look at the restaurant. So that's what you're eating. Where are you eating it? Look at this. Yes, leather. Oh, like the lighting is nice. It looks like one of those ASMR videos with a fireplace, or like at a coffee shop or something on YouTube, where you're just like, oh, this is so relaxing. Like, imagine if it's raining, you're just in there with a beautiful girl, and you're eating cheeseburgers, and you're about to have awesome sex. Like, you just like the gluttony you're exposing yourself to is like all your inhibitions are lowered, and it's just like, oh my God. If it weren't for the fact that we're eating all this crap, I might not want to try anal tonight, because it's just, I'm so into you. No, but like, for real, it's just so, it's the best, man, to be with someone you like you, that tolerates you, and to just indulge in this beautiful piece of meat that's it's the simplicity of the individual thing of the hamburger meat, combined with the artistry of like the way it's presented, and so good. It's like it's my jam. Leather boots, subtle sophistication, long legs, supple lips, long dark hair down to her perfectly formed ass. Sorry, I got distracted, got confusing. You know what makes me happy? I was to say this. I don't divulge everything about my private life on the show, but I'll say, like, in high school, I would never have dreamed to be with the person that I got to be with. It's like, everyone has a type. Let's imagine Brooke Shields in Blue Lagoon, or Mila Jovovich in Blue Lagoon. This is long, dark hair, and like this beautiful like face, and perfect. Like, just imagine like your dream girl, and you actually get to be with them. It's amazing, and it may not, things happen, but like the fact that like, it could happen later on for you. Could end too soon. Well, not in the way you want it to, but like that it happened, or it could just last forever and you grow old with the person. But it's epic. It's epic. It's like epic. It's the best. It's the best. I wish everyone watching to wake up one morning next to a beautiful woman and that they're infatuated with, and just be like, penultimate, this is it. Let's watch some Netflix, go to brunch, or whatever the fuck. I hate the word brunch. Let's go eat breakfast, and go for a walk, and then go to a nice dinner, and then let's watch movies all night. Yeah, Sorry. Talk about pivoting. Like really, really pivoting. I don't know, like in life, you have to be able to pivot. Pivoting is a skill. You have to be able to move the negative energy directed towards you to something else. You have to. How about the pivot by Biden? Human popsicles and the landing gear of military jets, abandoning U.S. citizens and Afghan allies in a third world country in the middle of the Middle East. Never mind, it's not like fucking like Guatemala, you know? And just a day later, have a press conference talking about Hurricane Ida and the power outages that are denying people Netflix in New Orleans. That is a pivot. That is a pivot. BenBen, you've been charged with trafficking 6 kilos of cocaine and 2 tons of ivermectin in your Dodge Dart across the Mexican border. How do you plead? And then I go, Your Honor, you know, that's fine and everything, but what about the hurricane? Stop making this trial about me, Your Honor. What about the people in New Orleans that can't watch Bridget Jones and whatever the fuck on demand, the D'Amelia show or whatever the TikTok girl is, D'Amelia, that people need that. It's not about me, Your Honor. It's about them. Thank you. That's my plea. But like for real, like that's like that's a thing. Like you have to be able to pivot. You have to, because the heat's gonna be on you. ISIS, Taliban, Al Qaeda recently came out, endorsed ivermectin as their treatment of choice against COVID-19. Saudi Arabia has declined to comment as to whether they intend to suspend funding to these international terrorist organizations for spreading false vaccine information. Now, I think that they should suspend. I think it's a kind of an anomaly. There's a lot of people that don't like, well, how there are different sects of contradictory elements of Islam. No, Saudi Arabia has been funding both sides for a long time. We don't really do anything about that. The 15 of the 19 hijackers from 9/11, Saudi Arabian. But hey, they have immunity. Oh, but I digress. Good pivot, though. Good pivot. One judge, Ohio judge, stated that this patient, Mr. Smith, what's his name? Julie Smith, the wife, the husband is Butler County in Ohio, said that Jeffrey Smith must be given his prescribed medication from a doctor not affiliated with the hospital, ivermectin. The doctors at the hospital that he was admitted to refused. She got a temporary restraining order. They were forced to give his ivermectin, at which time I went back to court 2 weeks later, and he's doing better, evidently, but it went back to court, and the next judge, Judge Oster, reversed the previous judge's decision, saying that the hospital does not have to do this. They can transfer him safely to a hospital that will prescribe the prescribe medication from the doctor that's affiliated with another hospital. Just go to that hospital where the doctor that wrote the prescription gave that's affiliated with. Go to the hospital that's affiliated with the doctor that wrote the ivermectin prescription initially, and they will service you. That's it. Yeah. So that's good, I guess. I think people should be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. I think it's interesting that this started before the FDA approved this situation with the Smiths started before the FDA formally approved ivermectin, COVID-19 vaccines like Pfizer's and Moderna's, et cetera, as approved, certified. You know, there was the emergency use application that was approved, but they're now like standard. There's a lot of money in that, man. It's interesting that like they're so necessary, but then like Joe Joe Rogan got monoclonal antibodies from Remdesivir. I think he got some plasma transfer, maybe, but he also got ivermectin. He's doing fine. It's not necessarily necessary, like, you know, the smallpox vaccine or some shit. It's not necessarily necessary. It's not necessarily like, I don't know. It's so divisive and so strange. This 24-year-old girl, Chloe Molzak of Illinois, was arrested after allegedly using a fake COVID-19 vaccine card to enter Hawaii and avoid travel restrictions. It said Moderna, phonetic spelling, instead of Moderna, Moderna. Oopsie daisies. She's arrested. I wonder what she's charged with, because it's not an official government document. It's a third-party doc. You know what I mean? That's what's funny. It's like fraud. I guess it's like lying on a bank application, something like that. That's what it is. In a sense, even there's no like real law for that. It's weird because I don't know where that's going to go. I'm not sure how that's prosecutable, but like it's funny. I just wanted to get savage and go to the beach. I understand that. I think what's happening in Australia with the lockdowns is crazy. Like they have the lowest rate of like infection, but they want to like completely eradicate something that will never be eradicated. It makes no sense. They'll have spikes next year during flu season. It'll always be there. It's so silly. I don't quite understand the concept of like locking people down if you already have people infected in your area. It's not going to go away. It'll be dormant and come back and mutate, and it'll be different strains. It's absolutely crazy. It could be like a huge moneymaker. I think Novavax is now supplying 150 million vials of vaccine. Novavax is in Maryland. Vaccine vials for Japan. Like this, like no one seems to give a shit about the flu vaccine. This is such a moneymaker. So you have to get this thing. Imagine you have to get Pfizer's product every single year, and they're going to change it every year. And they can't be sued for anything that happens. It's so interesting. Or they mandate it. The real push is to make, like, there's so much money behind it that, like, oh, in order for your kids to go to school here, you have to get this vaccine. They have to be vaccinated in order to go have a cheeseburger at this restaurant. That's what's crazy. Has anyone ever said that about the flu vaccine? You have to go to Balthazar for a cappuccino in New York. You have to have an arbitrary piece of paper. And then you saw people in Australia like burning the COVID passports, like and to be united with people that didn't want the vaccine. I think that's dope, man. The crazy people are like my friend with dinosaur arms. It's like, no, dude, that's so disrespectful. It's so selfish. You start talking about the greater good thing. It's not a black and white or binary outcome like you are a bad person for not getting the vaccine. Fundamentally, if you've already been exposed, why do you have to be lumped in? Even if you're not exposed and you want to take the risk, why lump yourself in? The vaccine that we produce, it's so important, but yet doesn't protect anyone that unless everyone's been vaccinated, still transmission can happen. It's really just about making the symptoms less severe. I mean, yeah, it's like, what do you think you're really giving people? Vaccines, viruses will mutate regardless of the vaccine every year. This segment of vaccines probably won't be applicable in a couple years from now. There'll be a new strain that will fight them, maybe even the Lambda variant from South America. Or I think it's probably from Africa that came over from South. But anyway, it's like, great. All right, that doesn't work for any of the vaccines we have. Wonderful. So you're going to force people to stay at home until we have a vaccine for that? You're going to shut down businesses? It's fucking nuts, dude. It's like the death rates are not that severe. Like, it's crazy. It really is. People like you have to get the vaccine because we don't know about the long-term repercussions. You couldn't turn into a leprechaun. You could grow horns. You could get heart inflammation from just getting the virus. You got to get it. Got to get the vaccine. What if I got smallpox? Well, we can treat that. We can treat the COVID vaccine with monoclonal antibody. Other thing, we can treat the COVID virus. There's such a strange issue. Such a strange issue. Oh, man. I don't know. Did you know the guy that created those cheap sunglasses, Oakleys, that like cost nothing to make, like they're put into plastic and charged $100 for them, like I think it was like a 10 or 15x margin. He also created those red cameras, if you're in the film industry, that are like $500,000 to $1 million. Makes me think about what those really cost to make. Fucking asshole. If you're not in the industry, the way it works, generally speaking, is most people don't buy a red camera. They'll rent them. Some people will buy them together. They will they'll like have like want to buy one for like a team, so it's almost like a timeshare, and they just borrow it when they need like a red mini for $50,000. That's like the cheapest one they make. And but for the most part, people rent them out and by renting them for like $2,500 a day for like one of the nice ones. The companies like BH Photo or whatever the fuck, they more than make their money back. In fact, they finance the cameras and they get a spread against their financing fees for the principal and the interest against what they rent it out for. Kind of like someone, renting a Lambo for $1,000 a day or something like that. Well, okay, their payment for the month is like $1,500. If they're able to rent it out for 2 days, they make $500 net of their payments to the bank. So it's like, interesting. Fucking A, man. That Rowdy energy drink is so fucking good. So fucking killer. Oh, I love this stuff. Rowdy. Digging it, man. Digging it. I'm digging it. Tennis star Riley Opeka fined $10,000 for walking onto court with a pink tote bag. The U.S. Open deemed as too gay. It's not. I mean, some people just never learn. We're in a new age. You can't do that anymore. You cannot do that anymore. You cannot fine people for being gay in any way. Well, levels of gayness are not. What's less gay? If it was turquoise, would that be acceptable? I mean, this is just atrocious. I'm so ashamed of being a huge tennis fan. So ashamed. About as ashamed as I was when I watched my play site video for the first time. That's a video of me playing tennis. It's hard to watch. In your head, you think that you're Roger Federer, but you're not. You're a bungling ogre. The pro in that, who's a former professional tennis player, is like laughing at herself. She's like, Jesus, this guy. It's like $100 lessons. He's obsessed with it, and he just sucks. I fucking love tennis though, but all the shit that you need to do to get good at tennis, I don't want to do. Like the footwork drills and stuff like that, never wanted to do. And granted, this video is a few years old. I'm in much better shape, but still, ogre. Oh my god. Oh, man. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. Oh, I think I'm Roger Federer. And then I saw that. I was like, oh. I think, let me explain how bad this is. I see Roger Federer video where he was like, the slow-mo. With like his arm coming across. I'd start doing that in real time to hit the ball, like as if that's real speed. And so like it looks awful. I'm just like that's a slow-mo video, you idiot. You got to swing through the fucking my footwork. I have no muscles in my legs. And I have this hunch. Oh, it's awful. It's awful. What was it? Now, this is before my trigeminal neuralgia surgery, so I'm sure my diet, pain tolerance, really inflamed, chronic pain. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just saying, wow. That's bad. That's really bad. Oh, obviously, I've been watching a lot of the shows, the House of Cards. Watching a lot of the House of Cards. Really into House of Cards. Started noticing that plot lines, TV writers have to include things that get a little sloppy when you start going out from the margins, from the primary plot line. They have to like make things work that are like fringe. Zoe Barnes, Frank Underwood pushes her into a subway car in season 2. But she starts dating Lucas Goodwin shortly after she's done sleeping with Frank Underwood, the congressman played by Kevin Spacey. And they have to make Lucas Goodwin look like a bitch. And so this scene shows... Oh, just watch.
Can you finish?
What?
I'm good.
What's wrong?
Nothing, I just said finish.
Well, I don't want to just... If you're not...
Okay, fine. Whatever.
So, did I do something that made you...
No.
Zoe, you can't say something like just finish and then shut down.
What guy would ever do that? What girl, even if that's true, that she just wants, to be done, would want her guy to be like, oh no, I can't do it because you don't. That no girl wants that. I know that sounds crazy. If she wants you to finish because she's not in the mood or something like that, she does not want you to be like, no, well, if you're not gonna finish, she's gonna be like, fuck me, you bitch. Like, just get it done. I got shit to do, but that don't do nothing. Oh, your feelings? Oh, fuck you. It's they wrote it this way because they want to make Lucas look weak compared to Frank and show that Zoe Barnes' innocence, any of it, is starting to fade, and that some of Frank's cold-hearted, calculating persona is rubbing off on her. And then there's this weird dichotomy of morality and vicious, crude careerism, and so they're kind of playing this kind of thing. It's fine, but it's no guy would ever. Well, how do you get if you're turned on at all by the power of Frank? How can you be turned on by Lucas Goodwin? It's like fucking Kenny G or something. Is this good for you? How's this? It's just blah, blah, blah. And then there's another plotline issue. Freddie, who owns the barbecue joint. Sorry, I was watching the show. I was really into it like this past weekend. Freddie has the barbecue joint. Gets famous because someone finds out that Frank likes to frequent the barbecue joint. Okay, fine, sure, yeah. So he gets a $90,000 upfront payment from some place that wants to franchise his shit, make it a bunch of shops. He then decides to talk to his son, hey, we have a good thing. I haven't talked to you in a while. I want to straighten out your life. Great. So to show that Frank Underwood's collateral damage extends beyond his enemies to just innocent people, they have to show Freddie, the innocent guy who's reformed his life since being charged with I think armed robbery in the 1980s and doing 10 years. He's reformed. And they show that Frank's tentacles of fucking people up and turning things to shit extend to everyone, regardless of whether they're in his way or they're innocent bystanders. And in this scene, watch this.
I haven't washed his Redskin. You don't have to have the
Pops, I ain't deep like that, man. Oh, back off, man. Yo, back the fuck off.
Darnell, just ignore
Yo, you think I'm
it.
fucking around here?
Darnell, ignore him. Don't worry.
Ah, man, they can't take our pictures if we don't want them to.
Sure as hell can.
What'd you say?
It's the First fucking Amendment.
Oh, you gonna read me the Constitution now, motherfucker?
Come on, Darnell, let's
No,
just go
I ain't done with this asshole.
Hey, don't touch me.
Oh, but you can get all up in my face, but I can't get up in yours.
Listen to your daddy.
Darnell, let's go.
Don't push me. I will fuck you up.
You think I'm scared of you?
Scared of this?
Darnell, parole!
What the fuck?
Can you tell me your name, please?
Okay, I'm on probation, and I am. I have a gun on me, and there's people taking my picture right in front of me, and I forget that I'm on probation and pull out a gun because they're just annoying. Oh shit! No, man, Darnell, your probation. Oh shit, Dad, you're right. I gotta go. Tom Cruise it. What the fuck? That's sloppy writing. That is sloppy writing. That is, you're in the writer's room. You have your whiteboards up. You have your when you do kind of like Harmon's, like Dan Harmon's circular story stuff, but then you have like circles within circles within circles, and you have outer frameworks to bring it into like a spider web of like connection. This particular writing is like, dude, like I get it, but like what I would have done to fuck things, because it's like, who does? Oh yeah, you know what? I'm a manic depressive bipolar. I don't give a fuck about the cameras. Oh shit, I give a fuck about the cameras. I gotta go. No, it's too simple. Too simple. I tweeted it. What would I have written? It was something like the billionaire. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. There's a billionaire named. Just give me a sec. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Who is the writer responsible for the House of Cards Season 2, Episode 9 scene when Freddy's son Darnell feels disrespected by the photographers on the sidewalk and subsequently pulls out his Glock, forgetting he's on parole as he is photographed? I would have liked to have seen Raymond Tusk, through an intermediary, spike Darnell's supply with fentanyl after Darnell uses some of his dad's new cash to buy a quarter kilo. There's a Chinese connection here. It also raises awareness of opioid epidemic. Chinese connection is relative to the show's plotline at the time. Darnell dies and Frank has to walk away from his old friend Freddy, all the same. Love the show, but yeah. So yeah, I think that would have been more interesting. There was some connections between like Raymond Tusk messing with the Underwoods at this time to gain leverage in the administration with the president, but this would have been also interesting because he was part of this plot line with Freddy and bringing up his past criminal history to make Frank's association look bad, so where he's distancing himself and like, oh, Frank doesn't get to go to his favorite barbecue joint anymore or something like that, or he condones violence because of someone else's mistakes in their past, so he can't, something like that. I think this would have been better. But I'm just saying, like, this is the type of shit. It's like writers start to like have to fit characters that are fringe into the main story. Otherwise they seem superfluous. And sometimes they get a little sloppy doing that. And I mean, like, this isn't two writers. This is a multi-million-dollar show. It's a hit show. There's like 25, 30 writers, like it's just, it pissed me off a little bit. I also think it's kind of, to bring it like home, if you are in the criminal justice system and you feel like people are bipolar, and there are a lot of people in the criminal justice system that are like have mental health problems that are prosecuted anyway, it's very difficult to not prosecute someone because they've made a mistake and hurt other people because they're bipolar. I get that. But in this circumstance, if this is truly how you want to convey like anger issues and like the sense of disrespect thing, like, okay, this is what people do. They make poor choices because of this. They're very impulsive. It should highlight that there's a huge problem that we have in our country in terms of like people going to jail. But I also feel like if I were to go down this road, I would have highlighted the opioid epidemic a little bit more. I don't know. It's my thought. Also thought I wrote to my friend has a connection with the guys who did Sicario. I thought about Emily Blunt's character coming back in Sicario 3 and being an addict because of all the shit that's happened to her. And she ODs. That I just feel like they should do more of the opioid epidemic and like highlighting that in movies. I feel like it's like thrown under the rug. Like almost like we're still it's not considered ideal because we're like funneling money through Iran-Contra still or some bullshit like that, like to Medellin. I don't know. Like, just all I'm saying. It's just like there's not enough about it. I think that COVID's here and the people are dying from getting high is like it's like below this. It's not. I don't like that. Just a thought. My favorite show on YouTube. My favorite show is Van Wives. Van Wives. Two lesbians that are living in the woods now. They think their new slogan is, "We've been living in our van for 2.5 years with our 2 dogs. Now we're challenging ourselves to live in a fucking house." It's one of those, the van people. They have 2 dogs in a van, and now they're like, "Oh, now we're challenging ourselves to live in a house." I'm like, that's not really a challenge. That's a little manipulation. You're kind of taking a break and living like a normal person, albeit in Nova Scotia in the middle of nowhere in a cabin. But still, it's better than a van. It's better. It's not a challenge. It's like it's a nice challenge because you don't have to live with 2 dogs in a car down by the river anymore, so to speak. It's a lovely. There's the twinkle in their eye, like, and like it makes me forget that they make $10,000 per episode. They're just so nice. They're so nice. Everyone loves, like, they make it. There's so many views. They're using industrial sized equipment to like clear the land and all this shit, and they're like clearly love each other. It's great. I like them a lot. It's my it's like whenever I'm like feel lazy, I just watch these 2 bull dykes go and like clear some land with some industrial equipment. I'm like, you know what, I gotta get off my ass. They can do it, I can do it. It's also really interesting that they're like only friends in the area are all like LGBTQ. Like there's no like they've had 2 other lesbian couples and then 1 gay couple. And I'm like, it doesn't seem very inclusive. I'd like to see like a heterosexual couple too, you know? It's way too gay, you know? It's like, okay, well, there are other people in the world too. How about like a mixed race heterosexual couple? I don't really bridge the gap. Just a thought, girls, gals. Yeah, so I don't know. My friend made out with a girl last weekend, and he has a retainer in his mouth, a permanent retainer, and so does she. And they went and had a conversation about how bullshit it is to have like braces and shit, because in the end your teeth keep moving, and then you have to have like permanent metal in your mouth. So it was like, what's the point in the beginning? Like, why not just like set the teeth, break everything, and like then put in the retainer and save yourself the time of like rubber bands and spacers. And I was thinking about like what, like I would wear my rubber bands for my shit like a month. They say like 9 months wear them. I'd wear them a month before I'm supposed to go in. And then they'd say like, oh, you did a great job. I'm like, dude, this is a scam. This is a scam. I barely wore them. Who the fuck wants to wear rubber bands? Ew. Like, I'm going to eat a sandwich. Now I'm going to put my rubber bands back on. I'm going to, come on. It's so gross, dude. It's so like overly like, I don't know. It's like, it's archaic. You know what I mean? Like rubber bands, put on your rubber bands. And then, like let's go shovel some dirt and make some piles. It's just so like, can't you do something better? And also, why did like dentistry and orthodontist shit like even like become a thing? Well, you know why it became a thing? It became popular. James Wybrandt notes that there were about 100 working dentists in the United States in 1825, but more than 1,200 by 1840. The reason for the surge is after the financial panic of 1837, many of the nation's newly unemployed mechanics and laborers started to pull teeth to make money. And I've seen shit where I've gone to a dentist's office and like he's like, "Oh, you have a cavity." And I go to the next place, "No, you have no cavities." I'm like, "What the fuck? What was he gonna do to my teeth? He's gonna drill holes in them and then put in shit? Because you can't just like fake. Oh, look, oh, I did shit. No, you have to actually do shit, dude. Like, what the fuck? You're like you need a nose job. No, I don't. Now you do. Like, it's just like, what the fuck, man? It's weird shit. Weird shit. Oh, dude. I feel so off today. It's like my first like talking to camera in like a little bit. I feel the COVID. I want some goji berries. Can I reach them? You don't even want to know how far away these goji berries are. Oh, I can't. Where's Sebastian? Fuck. Can't get to them. That sucks. Where are we at? 50 minutes? 50 minutes is good. I can do that. Stay fabulous, people. All right. Ta-ta. Oh, subscribe. And, yeah, whatever the fuck. Thank you.